Yeah. So the chicken and the egg were laying in bed together and they were getting it on and it was really getting hot and then it just stopped. It was over. And the chicken's laying down. He's like, oh, yeah. And he lights up that cigarette and he's like, oh, this was great. That answers that question. You get it? Right?
It's just silly.
What's the question, Joe?
No,
Who
it's just
came
so
first? The chicken or the egg? Well, the chicken did.
the chicken is. We already know it was the
The
chicken.
cockles. Cock. Sorry.
It was
I'm
the
sorry. I
chicken.
don't know. You were talking about chickens or something. You said some kind of joke earlier, and I'm like, I remember one.
Damn chicken.
Why? You see, I told you guys, I just remember this crap. I don't know. Oh, maybe I'll use this one.
Some of these things are funny.
I know.
Okay, that's what is going on? My phone.
Trump is really sick and tired of winning. Never.
He's not tired of winning. No way, Jose.
I got some really nice pictures of Trump. Oh, this is
Yeah.
funny. This is like, okay, we'll use this one.
You
All
know,
right, Joe,
tonight.
it's ready to go, Joe. Joe,
Okay. Okie
Joe.
dokie smoky.
Hey,
Thank you,
Joe.
sir, ma'am.
Hey, Joe. Okay.
We were gonna I was gonna tell you we were gonna talk about it, what we're gonna talk about tonight, real quick. A real quick proclamation signing.
What you got? Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Yeah, the proclamation signing. Yeah. That's Trump's
Yeah,
proclamation. Yeah.
it is. Maybe we'll touch on other subjects too, you know. Oh, what happened to my phone? I lost everybody.
What? What do you mean
Well, right.
sharing? Are you sharing
Yeah. Yes, I am.
when you lost everybody?
We'll also make a mention of Mr. What's his name? The two rappers at the
Oh,
football
Lamar
game.
and
Yeah.
Drake.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We'll make a mention of it. I mean, they're rappers, so
Hmm.
Ooh.
And wasn't there something
Boom.
else?
We're
The cis
yes, there is.
states.
There is.
I wrote down
This
cis
states.
states.
Yep, you
I would
did.
not try to say that.
Mm-mm.
Cis states. Joe, are you gonna post into Let's Go? I posted. I'm posting into Let's Go Brandon. You could do the others.
Okay.
I figured it out,
Yeah,
Joe.
that's
I
true.
figured out how to do it. What we were talking about earlier. Unreal. All this time.
Yep. Trippy, huh?
Oh boy,
It
boy,
works.
girls just don't wanna have. That's all they really want. No. I can't go that high, and I will not try. Um,
Hmm. So much
let's
fun.
let's start off with that. Which do you want to say? You know what? Let's start off with that Jake and Lamar. I don't know much about it. But it interests me because,
It-
of course, of the key word in what was said. So,
Well, they're they're rappers, and I guess they've got some kind of fight going on between them. And tonight, when I guess that Lamar said something, or the Drake said something to Lamar, and Kendrick says he skipped some kind of pedophile lyric in the Super Bowl. You know, they've been having some kind of fight since God, I don't know how long. It's been, they say it's been
so they've been
a
having
few
a
years
feud
since then.
for quite a while. Okay.
Few
So
years.
what did Lamar say about Drake? It was Lamar that said it about Drake, right?
Yeah, he said, I want to perform their favorite song, but you know what? He says, I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue, Lamar said it at one point. And when he rolled it out, Lamar looked directly into the camera and smiled to deliver the line, Say, Drake. I hear you like 'em young. That's a reference to Drake's alleged interactions with younger women, including actress Millie Bobby Brown. Wow, that was pretty bad.
Bobby Brown's daughter?
Millie, yeah, I don't know who Millie
Is
Bobby
it Whit?
Brown is. It's
You
an actress. I don't know who it is.
Oh,
He's the
Bobby
younger
Brown is an actress?
Millie Bobby Brown
Oh,
is the
Millie
name.
Brown. Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie
Gotcha.
Bobby Brown.
I
That's
really
the
don't
name.
know either.
I don't, yeah,
Sorry, could care less
I'm
too.
sorry. I don't know who these people are, folks.
We don't even care.
Yeah, it's
No,
just
it's
happened at
fine.
the Super Bowl, so that's why I brought it up. And
The reason I wanted to know who said it to who, because it really doesn't matter to me. It's
oh
probably
well.
true on both accounts. But Lamar, I believe, is American, an American rap singer, where
Mhm.
Drake is Canadian.
Oh,
I
okay.
just find, I'm pretty sure Lamar is American, but Drake is definitely Canadian. I had read that really quick somewhere.
Mm,
Um, I kind of find that interesting,
yeah,
because I just did, because I find the Canadians very interesting, and what
look
they're
over it.
left. Oops, shoot, and what they're left to. I hope to God they take our Constitution.
Yeah.
President Trump's fan group, David Attenborough,
Hmm.
Vietnam
Well,
veterans.
today, as Trump was
He did some
flying
commercials.
when he was as he was flying over the or towards the Super Bowl, he was
Yeah.
over. They're getting ready to land, and where is he flying over? He's flying over the Gulf.
That's pretty funny.
And so while he's flying over the Gulf is when he decides he's going to sign his new proclamation, naming it the Gulf of America. So he did it. He changed it to the Gulf of America, which I don't know if I'm real too happy
I'm
about.
not happy about Come on.
I,
What a gimmick.
it's been
It's a
Gulf of
gimmick.
Mexico for years and years and years and hundreds of years. And but you know,
Hundreds. Yeah. I mean,
maybe it's his retribution against them for what they've
now
done
for
to him
what?
out over
What
the
did the
years. I
Mexicans
don't
do?
know. I don't know.
I'm positive that it should be America, but
Well, if you think
I
about it,
stand behind not changing any more history and
well,
just
yeah.
saying it should be, but it's he really
Well, think
signed the
about
fucking
this.
proclamation.
You have
Come on,
North
Trump.
America,
It's
you,
petty.
you have North America, you have South America, and you have Mid America. So maybe it should be because
It's
it's the America,
I find
the
it very
Americas,
tedious,
I should say.
waste of time. I really do. I mean, unless I understand he is looking at America first, but I just don't see it that way. I'll never see America. I do see America first. You know what? I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth. It's There has to be, we're the number one entity, but we wouldn't work without all the other entities. But it's possible that he knows something I don't. Maybe the cabal actually named it the Gulf of Mexico for a reason. Or maybe he really wants the world to know that it is the Gulf of America. But do you know how many globe places, how many map places, how many atlas places he just put out he made extinct? Because they rely on their stock, Trump. You should know very well. Trump was smart. When he had all this stock left, he would give us 10-year-old stuff in the casino as giveaways. He wasn't stupid. He had things to use for, oh, this will make the people happy. You think I'm stupid, Trump? I know. I know my shit. And I definitely know technology and stuff. Oh, he's got all this shit stuff. Yeah, let's give it to the people that spend all their thousands of dollars in my casino.
Hmm.
Make them happy with this TV that I bought for 5 cents. It's tedious bullshit. But I do understand if he wants to claim it, um, be it on his head, I guess. I just don't like it. Unless there's really something I'm overlooking, then it's ridiculous. It was really It wasn't never the Gulf of Mexico. So if you want to go back to the original name, it was like the Gulf of,
Well, he did it on the 20th of last month,
well,
right?
I know. Well, there's a difference between writing it. Wait, did he actually change
Hmm.
it or is it just,
Yeah, he changed it and he wrote this. This is the proclamation he wrote.
I'm
Now,
confused.
therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim February 9th, 2025 as Gulf of America Day.
And it's,
I call
oh,
on
Gulf of
public,
America Day, or did he change?
it's
Joe,
day, it's
that's a
day.
fucking huge difference.
It's a proclamation.
A
It's proclamation.
proclamation is law.
Yeah, Trump signs proclamation while flying over Gulf of America.
You
This is
guys
now a
understand
law.
why I got excited there.
Yeah, this is the proclamation. This is the law now. It's Gulf of America Day.
You just said Gulf of America Day.
Yeah,
Don't get me confused and don't get yourself confused.
right.
That means that there is a day called the Gulf of
Gulf
America.
of
It
America.
doesn't mean that he changed it to
He
Gulf of
changed it on the
America.
20th, it says. Yeah,
All right,
he did.
you're gonna have to research that because
He
I
renamed it
remember him coming
Gulf of
out with,
America for the first time
yes, but
on
that
the
doesn't mean
20th.
he can change it. The world has to be familiar with it. It can't just be America. He can say, yeah, we're gonna call it that. And
Hmm.
I want every map made from here on to have the Gulf of America sold in America. He could say all that, but he can't command Sweden to say it.
That's true. He can't make the other countries say it, but he can say it.
Joe, don't
He
fucking
can say it
confuse
for
me,
us.
dude.
But do you want me to read what he wrote? The
Didn't you
executive
already read
order?
what he wrote?
I do have the executive order right here.
So it's an E. All right, go.
On
I'm
January 20th, 2025, he signed an executive order 14172, restoring names that honor American greatness, among other actions. That executive order required the Secretary of Interior acting
hold on.
pursuant.
Hold, wait. Restoring names?
Yeah,
This is not
not only
restoring a
restoring,
name.
right?
It's not
Right.
because it was in the
Listen,
1600s.
just
It was,
listen. Let me finish. He's acting to the pursuant 43 USC 364 through 364F to take all appropriate actions to rename as the Gulf of America, the U.S. continental shelf area bounded on the northeast, north, and northwest by the state of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, and extending to the seaward boundary with Mexico and Cuba in the area formerly named as the Gulf of Mexico.
and
Rename.
that was on the 20th.
That was on the 20th.
So
Then
what are you reading
today,
today?
today he made today, um, today is Gulf of America Day. And it's observed this day with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities.
Fuck lets him do this
Why?
shit.
Why? I don't, I'm not sure I agree with this.
I hope
But
you're
hey,
not
he did
saying
it.
that because I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. That is
I'm
this,
not,
unless there is really something I'm missing, that is the stupidest shit I just heard in my lifetime.
I'm not really
And I
down
know
with it
I'm not
either.
missing something. It was called the Gulf of something back in the 1600s. So if you're going to restore the name, it should be back to that. Go and look it up. Look it up, Joe. What was it in the 1600s? Gulf, maybe 15, maybe 17. I'm pretty sure it was the 17th century. And so restoring a name makes no sense unless that word, which I don't remember it, and I'm definitely not thinking it meant America.
More, the Gulf of Cortez or the Gulf of New Spain.
That I understand.
And then
He wants to
mhm.
get rid of New Spain. That makes sense to me. Go on. What is it? Gulf of, there was something else
Mar del Norte, the Sea of the North, or Senio Mexicano, Mexican Sound.
because, Because what happened?
Spanish me.
Because we didn't have a constitution. We didn't have states here. We had the Mexicans had it already.
Hardly know it.
Spain was traveling already. This
Mhm.
is destroying history. I don't like it at all. But I
Well,
will
it
give it I will
depends.
give it a chance that there's something else that I'm overlooking. Otherwise, I think it's just egotistical stupidity.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't like all of Trump's writers. I don't like all his I like everybody that he's hired, you know, but some
right.
of these people that are thinking of these laws and what should be who cares? I know he did so much in 2 weeks, but you're gonna put this fun bit in? Why? Give me a good reason. Because we own 65% of it, then have it be in our fucking books instead of having all these map makers go out of business.
Hmm.
Ridiculous. He really did. I'm not kidding. I mean,
Just
maybe
sure I like it, but hey,
maybe there aren't any real atlas makers as much, but there are globe makers. Trump, I'm sure you walked through Bally's before. There was a whole big store dedicated to globe makers. Beautiful globes. In fact, we had a globe that opened up and there was a dish, alcohol. It was a little bar
a
inside.
decanter. A
There was a little
decanter?
ice
They
thing.
call that decanters, some kind of.
Decanters are those long, usually crystal.
Yeah,
They fill up. That's a decanter.
that
Yeah.
don't. But you fill those up, right? Then that
Yeah.
sits in there. Those sit in there.
No,
Oh,
decanters are usually out. Like ever see? I don't
they're
know.
out already. Okay.
Hogan's Heroes. Uh, um, what's his name? He always had
Colonel
it.
Clink.
Colonel
Colonel Clink.
Link used to have it, a silver platter. He'd have a couple shot glasses and a
Yes, I
decanter.
remember. Yeah. Okay.
Those, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, they're usually crystal. They're really pretty, handmade. That's a decanter. No, this was an actual bar. It had like an ice holder, with the tongs and crystal glasses or probably I hear them. I hear them.
Yeah, it's
And all
no. She's
this
talking
and
about.
you could put whatever liquor you want in it. That was it. You could fit like different bottles, different sizes. But the thing moved. You wouldn't turn it over. You would have to go and look underneath. I mean, it was pretty fucking, it was probably like 3 feet, 4 feet. I just don't find this whole unless there's something. I mean, I understand giving credit where credit's due, but it's really not the most important thing. If he had done it on his last day in office, I might have taken it a little better. But for doing it I know he wants to prove to people, I am gonna make America great and it's gonna be America first, and I get that. I really do. But changing the name of Gulf of Mexico is not even that just doesn't do it for me. I really hate some of the people that work for Trump. And I've noticed there's a ton of them. There's a ton of them that just give you bad ideas.
Yes.
I've been dealing in politics probably longer than Trump. I feel like my soul has. Okay, what's next? My
Hijo.
soul. It's under
Híjole.
control. According to people, this
Híjole.
before
What
you
is
start,
next?
before you start, I wanted to
Mhm.
say thank you to some people that answered about the short live I had about God and indoctrination and religion and all that. I had some
Mhm.
pretty nice answers. Um, I know you guys don't write this shit online. You don't. I know even people erasing their messages is a good thing. I get it. I get it. Believe me, I believe YouTube is in good hands now. Otherwise,
Mhm.
I would have been taken down yet again. They're in good
I,
hands.
I think so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but thank you for the comments. You have to let me know if you want me to say them or if you guys want me to wait until you actually come on. Or if you put it in the chat, I'll know to say it. But I'm not going to say what they were. But I thank you for the good comments, and I didn't really get any bad comments. Not yet, at least.
That's
Yeah, the
good.
night is still young. All right, Joe, go on.
We have three states that are suing the Trump administration to protect gender altering procedures for kids. Aren't those states nice? Why?
The cis, I called them the cis states. I can't even.
Why do I have to do that?
Why? Because they want to get reelected, you know? Or I really doubt it's any part of the cabal anymore that have any. I really doubt it. I mean, I could be wrong. There could be some left
This
with
is
some
this is
control.
what it says. This is from Fox News.
Oh boy.
The attorney generals of 3 states filed a lawsuit against Trump administration Friday for trying to bar children from accessing gender altering procedures. President Donald Trump signed an executive order in late January titled Protecting Children from Chemical and Surgical Mutilation. Its goal is to restrict chemical and surgical sex change procedures for minors.
How is this even a question?
It's a
How is
dangerous trend.
this, was
It's
everybody
gotta stop.
born yesterday? Seriously? Like Adam Shifthead? Was it, how can this even be a question with somebody over 18?
Right,
Anybody over 18 should realize, no, children, no, children can't do this.
right,
No. The only reason they push this shit is because that's what the cabal does.
right.
All right.
Those
Now,
these
these
this
states are very indoctrinated. The
mhm.
people still working
Oh,
there
they
are
are.
indoctrinated.
Yeah. And listen to which states they are. It's from the Attorney General's Nick Brown of Washington State, Keith Ellison of Minnesota, and Dan Rayfield of Oregon.
Or Marcia, Minnesota and
Mhm.
Oregon.
Minnesota, Oregon, and
Who's in
Washington.
Oregon?
Huh?
Who's Oregon?
Ray or Dan Rayfield. Rayfield is his name. Dan Rayfield. They're Democrats,
Which
Democratic
one was
officials.
Wheeler? Wasn't Wheeler in Oregon? Do you remember that dork guy that let all the fucking riots go on in Portland? Or was he just a mayor? Was he governor or mayor? I don't know. I, you don't remember that dork? Oh, you see, I don't know. I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Wheeler. And he let all the riots go on during Trump's first admin. I mean, it was disgusting. It was a disgusting mess. People couldn't walk out of their houses. I have to dare say it was probably worse than Chicago and New York put together at one time. I don't know. Okay. Is anybody in the chat, love?
Ted Wheeler?
Was it Ed Wheeler? What was he?
Yeah, Ted Wheeler.
Was
62.
was
Hmm.
the mayor, the governor? What was he?
He's opening it. He's just says politician so far. Hold on.
Really? This is
State Treasurer of Oregon. Oh, he's mayor of Portland, Oregon from
mayor.
17 to
Yeah,
25.
I
So
thought
he's
so.
still the mayor then,
He's
right?
still mayor. That's what I thought he was mayor. Okay.
And
And then,
before that, he was the treasurer.
yeah, but no, that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, these are nice people letting their countries go to hell, letting our country go to hell like that.
You know what's funny? I wanted to bring up what did Nancy tell us? Oh, the eggs were stolen.
Oh
Remember?
yeah.
So
Hmm.
our friend is in Pennsylvania,
Hmm.
and not far from her house, I guess there's like an egg. What was the egg company? Something in Jerry's. Pete and Jerry's. Pete and Jerry's the organic eggs or something, or cage free.
Hmm.
And they stole like I think it was 100,000 eggs.
Oh
So
God,
either these eggs are going on the black market.
we're gonna set it. We're
Seriously,
gonna
guys,
set
calm fucking down. People with their eggs. It probably either it
it.
went on the black market. It was either or maybe a restaurant stole it,
Hmm. Kind of
or
like
it's
the
the good
toilet
guys.
paper thing.
Maybe this Pete and Jerry's egg company isn't that good, and the good guys took it. A hundred
Probably.
thousand eggs is
Yeah.
a bit. It's a lot. That's a lot of fucking eggs. I
That's a
mean,
couple. That's a couple. You got to eat them right
sold by
away.
a
You can't let them
dozen.
go bad,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's got to be that's a pretty big
I'm gonna
change.
put them in the backyard.
I thought it was, I had to bring that up. I
That's
really
funny.
hope I didn't disappoint too many of you with the whole religious thing this morning or this afternoon rather, but I have to think neutrally about every subject. Everyone.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I do. It's how I taught myself. I'm not going to change the way I study. Not for no one. So that remember when we showed that picture of Jaden Smith, Will
Yes.
Smith's son, with the cat on
With the
it?
castle on his head.
I've been thinking about it, and certain people went through certain tortures. Um, Kevin Spacey during his trial, and I have told you guys this before, Kevin Spacey was one of the worst
Bad. Oh,
pedophiles in the
boy,
world.
was
He
he
was the
bad.
worst, that they even kicked him off of Epstein Island. Now, I can't tell you what the basement of Epstein Island was like. There's bottom floors. These are
Mm.
people living in their own shit, being fucked daily in their asses, they've been
Ew,
sodomized. That, oh
gross.
yeah, no, they have buckets to shit in. There are places like this underground all over the place. This is from the
Ugh.
dark web, my friends. I don't want to
Just
say much more, but I have seen pictures as a video as much as I think Helen probably did too, where Hillary was there. These people are fucked up, okay? Um, but they're also inbred to do this. They're also trained to do this. You know,
mhm.
it wasn't Obama that made Obama Obama. It wasn't, right? It's not Will Smith's fault that he was taken, used. It might be his grandfather's fault or something like that. But these generations, they're too inbred. They're too inbred to even know the difference. So this poor kid is wearing on his head, the place where you think, the place that matters, right? A castle, a black castle, which resembles dark fantasy. He lives in a fantasy, but it's dark. It's no good. It's black. There's lack of light. God is light, they say. What's black, right? That's what I'm thinking. Um, it
Interesting.
was the one that killed Dana, um, David Spade's cousin. He had to go out in a mask, a rat mask. Kevin Spacey delivered the pizzas. I
Mhm.
believe what they did to uh, Will Ferrell during one of the games during Christmas, he wore his elf outfit and he was not happy. I think they made him do that. I
Wow.
think people were a little tortured, just like they would have done to a kid, right? Certain things. But
Right.
like for what Kevin Spacey did, delivering pizzas to
Heavens.
anybody
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
nothing significant until you realize pizza is the sign for little boys, liking
Right.
little boys, the
Yeah.
pedophilia sign.
Hi,
Guys,
Susan.
pedophilia signs. Hey,
Yeah.
Susan, you'll
Yeah.
know. You'll see it. There's a bunch of different signs.
Yeah.
Where this rainbow shit came from, that's bullshit. They say the rainbow came from the Bible. I don't know, maybe.
Susan says they've been conditioned for this lifestyle since they were babies.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
They have separate
True
schooling.
that.
They have
Yeah.
separate sciences. They have
Ah.
separate acting. They have separate religion.
Yeah. That to do.
So
Weird stuff.
we have what did we find out what the other guy's name was? Bino, the one that used to ride his skateboard. What the fuck was his name?
Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah, Beto. Pete Buttigieg.
Oh man, they said get rid of the
Ju-
one that they've got in there now and put him back in. Ugh, guy's an idiot.
Who?
Peter,
Pete Buttigieg
who's the
is.
transport secretary now?
Oh, I don't know. Who Trump picked? I don't know.
Yeah,
Pete Buttigieg was.
yeah, they're saying put him back in there.
Jack Smith. Adam,
Oh,
what was Bragg's name? Adam Bragg's? Fannie Willis,
Alvin Bragg.
Alvin. Do you guys see that these names are fucked up? Is
Mhm.
it just me? All these people that are bad have really weird, demented almost names. I just want to point that out. I mean, not all of them, but the gay guy has his name is Buttigieg, but it looks like butt gig, like you're doing a gig in his butt. I
Yeah,
mean, come on. Um,
so I call him Buddha
Alvin.
Butthole.
Who thinks of Alvin? Alvin is the Chipmunks, dude. Okay? I mean, I'm not saying there aren't people named Alvin, but usually they're in Britain or another country. They are not from here. Fanny, too. Fanny is a British word for the cha-cha,
For the
for the
butt.
girls, cha-cha. And that's a British word.
Oh,
I never knew it was spelt that way, so I never thought of it. I've heard it before, but I never thought of it until I heard somebody say it. I think I heard it
hmm.
on one of the shows I watched, but it just doesn't seem likely that Jack Smith, I can't. Jack Smith? Are you serious? And Braggs. It's just an evil name. Letitia James, the rock star. Like, come on. It doesn't seem right to me. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to point that out. Listen, if you could come up with more names, let me know. But these are the ones I was thinking of. I'm sure there's more in my head.
Well, they got their security clearances uh, revoked too. I think
Yes.
something happened to those guys. Yeah, there's more coming to you, Bragg and James. More coming, and also the
Um,
judge too. That
we
Mercant.
have, yeah, I know. They're all getting it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mansion, which means uh what did it end up meaning? I looked it up. Was it Trudeau meant Thor's god. How is that fucking possible?
Hmm.
Mansion meant merchant.
Mercant. I thought it was Mercant.
Mercon, mansion, whatever the fuck his name
Yeah,
was, meant merchant.
right. I'm from Columbia.
It's so, it's fucking bizarre, people.
Mhm.
I mean, my last name, nobody even knows how to pronounce at first. You know what I mean? Where are these people with these names like mine that or Brasher? I mean, that's a
That's a brewer.
it's not unfamiliar though. I mean,
No, it's not.
it doesn't mean
Right.
anything else either. Like,
Mm-mm.
and they're not, and it's a Christian. Joe is it just doesn't, I don't know. I don't know.
We come from France. France.
Um, ow, ow. Got something caught in
Yeah.
my hair. Sorry.
The Susan says the rainbow of seven colors is from God. The rainbow of six colors is from the devil. I didn't know that.
I
It is bizarre.
don't understand that.
I didn't. I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Mom. I don't.
I wish she could actually, what happened to, okay. I wish she could explain that further. I wanted to ask you, did you read anything about that Alaskan plane that disappeared? Because I didn't know until
I
like
know that. I know
a day or
it
two
took
later.
off and it flew not very far and then it crashed and there were no survivors.
It had like, shoot, I knew that was coming. Excuse
Like
me.
8 or 10 people on board.
Phew.
It
Yeah,
wasn't, it
like 10
wasn't a very
people.
big plane.
Yeah,
It
but
was
okay, so they found it, but was it like
mhm.
far off its course? What happened?
No, it seems like it just went down. It was on its course, but it just went down. I think it encountered an ice
I
storm
hope
of
I
some
didn't
kind.
curse anything. I kept saying things are fucking falling out of the sky.
It's exactly personal, basically what it was. It
Do we
fell
have
out of the
anything on the
sky.
black boxes of the other ones?
Well, they're reviewing them still. They haven't brought any,
They haven't
you
brought
know,
anything to the
they
attention.
haven't brought the news out of what they fucking found inside them. But you know,
Oh,
it's going to
oh,
be
guys,
exactly
guys,
what we've been
guys, guys,
saying.
guys.
I mean, because you think about it, the pilot, the main pilot was the girl that was Joe Biden's. She was some kind of not an aide, but an advisor to Joe Biden in the White House. And then all of a sudden, she's out there flying uh, a, a Black Hawk helicopter in one of the busiest airspaces in the country. And when if you look at it, at any angle, you can see that Black Hawk making a beeline for that jet. And I don't care who the fuck you are. There's no fucking way that that could ever happen. That Black Hawk didn't see that fucking jet. There's no way. It was just too high, and it was a straight on shot. It was
If
it
she
was
was
right in its
flying,
line of sight.
she was flying, she had to have killed them for them not to get out of their even seatbelt to go and stop her.
Exactly. What the hell? And what's the motivation behind it? Why did she do it?
Why the jet? Like if she was upset about Trump, why the jet? If it had something political, I have a feeling that
Was it a
we
suicide
how
mission?
many
Was it?
times does a bridge collapse because, a boat crashes into it? This
Mhm.
shit is happening.
I think we deserve to know what was on that black box of the Black Hawk helicopter.
What if it's nobody's fault?
And
What
I
if
will
it just
stand.
happened?
Then I will stand corrected. But it just doesn't seem right that that could have happened as an accident. It
Well, it
just
doesn't
doesn't seem right.
it doesn't s- four crafts are down.
Yeah.
We got those two, the Hawk and the
Hmm.
Jet.
Hmm.
We got the one in
Alaska.
Philadelphia, and
Yeah.
we
Oh
got the
yeah.
one in
Yeah.
Alaska. Four,
Forgot about that one.
right. It's four in just a matter of days, people.
Right. Yeah.
Don't tell me that it's not more significant than something happening with the pilots and DEI.
Well,
The
what if it's
DEI
like
cannot
this?
infect every
What if
air.
it's like this, Carolyn? They didn't hire anybody in the FAA because they weren't, because some of the people that were hired, that were applying, didn't really like the DEI part of that, of the job, and kind of said, no, I don't really agree to that. So they weren't never hired in some way. They said they didn't agree to it. And they only hired the DEI people, diversity people. I don't know. I really don't. All I know is FAA has always had a
All
problem
right,
with those
let me explain
controllers.
this very simple. Yet again,
Mhm.
DEI is just a foot in the door. I don't care if the man is a transvestite, right?
I could
I mean,
care
you might
less.
care,
You got to
but
live your life.
if he's got if he's got 17,000 hours of air travel, who the fuck cares if he's DEI?
There's
Uh,
truth in
they
that.
are not going to hire, they didn't change the regulations
Yeah, I have to
of
agree
being
with that.
hired. They
Hmm.
just allow DEI in front of everybody else to include them. They're always included. Nobody said, hey, you're not included. Now it's up to if the boss says, hey, I don't want you, your type in, fuck you. That's the boss. Go look somewhere else. But this isn't any law.
Yeah.
And you still have to, the pilot, whether she was DEI or not, still had 500 or which one had 500,
Yeah,
which one had a
she
thousand.
did. She
She's
had a fight. Yeah, she had
500
500.
hours in the sky. So it's not fucking DEI.
You said, what if she wait a minute now.
It's stupid.
So if she's got 500 hours in the chair as a pilot, and the other guy has 1,000 hours in the chair as a pilot,
It's
he would be in
1,500
charge, wouldn't
altogether.
he?
Right.
Well, I guess he would be in charge if he's higher rank, which I think he
No,
was,
it just
wasn't
goes by rank. She could have less time in the air and higher rank. He could
he? Yeah.
she knows how to fly.
She
Most
does.
likely
She had
it
500
isn't that way.
hours.
Most likely he was in
She had
charge.
500. That's why it just doesn't make no sense.
Well, it was in a training mode, so she was flying. Training mode doesn't necessarily mean they're training. She already knows how to fly. 500 hours in the air.
Yeah, but
That's a lot of
it
hours.
beelined for that jet.
Did
Who was
she,
on
or
that
was it a
jet?
mechanical failure? Or was it somebody else on board that made it happen?
Hmm. There was three people on that helicopter, right?
But all of them were still in their seatbelts, which makes me believe, again, it's a mechanical failure. They're falling out of the sky.
Hmm.
The bridge is collapsing. The trains are going off the derailments. Listen, guys, I don't know if you know, but sometimes I look around about world news, right? So you had Japan, Brazil, Peru, India, Africa, with all the America, all these fucking places have had the most bizarre weather in ever in history, from
We're having bizarre.
earthquakes to tornadoes to tsunamis to hurricanes, tornadoes. They're all fucking showing up like all over the world, not just here in America where we had earthquakes in the northeast or east,
Hmm.
which rarely happens, or or where was it? Hurricanes hitting Kentucky, or was it tornado? I forgot. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, we had a tornado.
You guys had a tornado too.
Yeah.
Snowing in Florida, that rarely
Yeah,
happens.
right on the Gulf in Louisiana. Yeah, that's right.
There's
That was weird. Hmm.
now now you're going to tell me this has nothing to do with train derailments or
Think it's one and the same, don't you?
the boats crashing into bridges,
Hmm.
or right,
Hmm.
or
Oh,
planes crashing
listen.
out of the sky. I do not, I don't, my husband made it home safely. I thank God he did, but I'm hoping he doesn't have to fly for quite a while. So,
And who was in charge in the last administration? None other than Buddha Butthole. I mean, Buttigieg.
Buttigieg was what you would consider DEI. He was
Definitely.
put into place for a reason, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, they all were, right?
This is your cabal destroying our infrastructure.
You want to read some of the text, Joe? Any messages?
Is there some
Does
more in
anybody
it?
love us? Because I know like
Yeah.
six people are
Yeah.
watching, but
Uh-huh.
sometimes they
God
don't
placed
write.
the rainbow in the sky as his promise not to flood the earth again. And she said, what if someone on the ground with a computer took control of the helicopter? Yeah, what if? You're right, Susan. What if?
Right. A lot of people were saying maybe it wasn't even manned, but I
Yeah.
figured it was manned.
Mhm.
But
We'll know in the black box when they should tell us the contents of the black box. I really believe that we have the right to know in this kind of situation, as bad as this was, because this military helicopter flew straight into this private jet airline that was carrying American citizens. So I think the American people have the right to know what happened.
you're right. And it's very possible
Mhm.
um that it was controlled. Even it took, oh, that's why I said I believe it was damaged.
Could be, yeah.
It could have been controlled by the
Ouch.
floor on ground somewhere, made to go into that. It doesn't take much of a hacker. I bet it
Mm-mm.
doesn't take much of a hacker. This is another thing what I have with the flat earthers.
Mhm.
Magnets are proven. Magnets are proven to work. So why wouldn't we believe in a magnetic field? I mean, if you turn two magnets around and try to put them together, it doesn't work. There's a magnetic field. Now, the earth is made of ores, rocks, basically one giant magnet. I don't see why this is so complex. The other thing is, it's a pretty good theory that the arches that are found around the world that make no sense. How could the same thing be done in New York that was done in Paris? And how did they do these giant arches? It's just not, it wasn't us. A lot of flat earthers do believe in the giants and such, but why would they make magnets? Those are magnets, those arches, right? Remember the old-fashioned magnets?
Yeah, the
Um, with the
shoe horse
gray
magnet,
with the round red
shoe
line.
horse magnet. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Those are what those arches are. They're giant magnets because we were using or maybe we're on a giant spaceship. What the hell do I know? But we were at one point, humanity or whatever existed on this earth was using those magnets for a reason. I believe it was the giants. We had giants back then. Hey, that's something we can agree with in the Bible, right?
Yes.
So if there were giants back then, they're the ones that created these giant
But I
holes.
believe they were bigger than they're telling us. I believe they were big. I believe they're 25, at least 25 feet tall,
If they were
30
25
feet.
feet, if they were that, excuse
Don't
me, if
you?
they were that tall, we'd have different structures on this earth to prove
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, but we had those big trees like the Devil's Tower. That look at how big that tree is. And then it's cut down perfectly across the top. And then those other places
Trees are
that
easy
look
to
like big
cut
trees.
down. You're in the desert, my friend. Trees are easy to cut down when the water was taken from them. That's why I believe the Antarctics are very important.
Hmm.
The poles are very important. It's my belief that they froze our water. I really believe we went through soil liquidation, and they took our water. Um, we had more waterways all over the world, all over. Even even in the United States. If we had trees that big, there's no way a tree could grow unless it had
More
that
water.
big,
Agreed.
unless it had
I
tons and
agree.
tons and
I'm not
tons of
gonna I'm not
water.
gonna disagree with you on that. For damn sure. I agree with you.
Um, and boy, do they drink because
Mhm.
before Sandy, Sandy took down 19 trees on our barely 3 acre property in New Jersey, right? The one that's still on for sale. Oh my God, soon. But before the soil never got damp. 19 trees, that's all it was. The soil never got damp. It was always the trees were drinking them. 19 gone, and my mother couldn't understand what's going on. Why is everything um there's puddles and puddles of water where you couldn't even walk. You get your shoe stuck. It was so bad in certain areas. And that was because many of the trees that were drinking the water originally are gone. Not the trees that get not the areas that get more sun, right? But there are areas that get less sun and they were just swamp. Now, maybe that's why we really call them the swamp, because they cut down the trees, made everything a swamp or a desert. I really do believe that there's some kind of great machine or something out there, whether it's futuristic or if it's from us, that somehow they took our water because water is life.
Mhm.
And that is a flat earther's belief, I think, that I learned it from a flat earther, that there were pictures in the mid 1800s, 1830 to 1860, pictures are missing. You try to find somebody or a picture of a field or outside, maybe not a family picture, but something outside where you see what's going on. Try to find a picture between 1830 and 1860. It's very difficult.
Yes.
And the ones that are found don't make any fucking sense, my friends. I don't really want to talk about the whole flat earth and all that right now, but I will say back about the religion thing. Christianity is very young compared to the age of the earth.
It is.
Okay. Even the
Very.
Jews think that we're only 6,000 years old, that the earth is only 6,000 years old.
Oh no, 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 no,
No,
no, no.
absolutely not. No.
No, our sun is a 10 billion year
Well,
star.
that could be indoctrination.
There you go.
I
That it's
mean,
that old. Um,
I definitely believe that
what the measuring is, I don't know.
well, they indoctrinated the way that they measure how old the earth is in general with the, carbon dating and all that. I don't believe that shit.
They do it with light. Actually, it's
I
done
know,
with
they lie,
light.
but
Mhm.
well, they do carbon dating.
Though that's how they don't do the space was done with light and temperatures and whatnot. The different lights are different temperatures. It's I don't know. I can't remember how they do that, the equations. I'd have to get my book out.
You could just look at sediment. If you just look at shit that is left behind from where water used to be or where other
Right.
rocks used to be, you could see just like a tree with the rings.
Mhm.
You can see how old some of the earth is. I mean, you can't, those things need millennia to form. They need thousands of years, not hundreds, not 50, not 20 days. They need millennia, thousands of years. The earth is old. Unless God said, poof, I created the earth to be old, but you guys are only, my whole point is I don't understand why people got stuck on religions. Um, when you would think that you would follow the oldest religion in the world, which I don't know what would have been. What I would think would be whatever the Sumerian. Am I saying their name right? I always get them wrong.
I don't
Sumerians?
know. Sumerian.
I think Sumerian.
Wow.
Well, thanks
It's
for
wow.
repeating it, Joe. Thank you.
Sumerian.
Always so
I don't know
helpful.
who they are. But you guys were talking about them today as the Sumerian. But
They're
I don't
the
know.
oldest, yeah.
That's
The
the oldest one.
the thing with the patches whole thing is like, not that I want
Saying
to
that they
bring
were the white ones, they were the only white people or something like that.
black.
Isn't that what he said?
The Canaanites, I believe he said, were white, but the
Okay.
Israelis were all black.
Yeah, yeah. No, the Jews were all black, he said. God, I'm so
Jews are
confused.
black. Yeah, the Canaanites were
Yeah.
white.
Okay.
The Canaanites are
Holy
the
cow.
bad Jews.
Sorry.
It's very
Yeah,
confusing.
I
It,
know it is.
but like Judge Judy says, if it doesn't make sense, then most likely it's not true.
It's not
How does
true.
it make
Problem.
sense that the Virgin Mary became pregnant? I mean, really? Really? I know people want to believe it to the bottom of their
But God
hearts,
didn't
but
really make us that way.
why did God give us brains? Why did he give why would he it doesn't make sense. Why not believe in the oldest religion? Why believe in the newest? Right?
Mhm.
Like I don't understand Mormons at all. This book was written by a guy, a dude. So I'm going to become Mormon. What? What? Scientology, all of it, it's all it's all pretty much the same to me, almost. Now, the only thing that Christianity, Catholicism have such beautiful things, the commandments. I agree with them. Turn your cheek. I agree with that. Um, honor thy brother and sister. I agree with this shit. Doesn't always
I
happen,
don't bother.
but I'm not gonna go out and kill anybody,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you might
Way.
think some Muslims think that way. Well, if I had to, I'm allowed to go and kill you. But there's two representations to their Quran, my friends. So don't think that far. And I don't care who's read it. I don't care what you tell me. I know it for a fact. All right, there's two representations to it, and usually the Muslims follow the softer path, unless they're indoctrinated to kill. They give those kids weapons. The Afghanis have weapons when they're 6 years old. And what do
Some
you
of them
do?
do.
That's why half of them want to come here. Well, America, they don't allow guns like that. Not like that. My 6-year-old came home, he shot his foot off.
Jeez.
This is the shit they deal
Oh,
with
thank you.
sometimes, these fucking places.
Right.
I don't understand why anybody anywhere is living in sand or filth or dirt anywhere in the world. Unless tribes don't want to change, like the Amish don't want to change, I don't understand why they aren't walking on pavement like everybody else. Or have it easier like everybody else, or have running water. How is this not possible this day and age? Why have they not been like it? I don't, it just, none of the history makes sense to me. And
I
religion
live
on
on the
top.
west side of Albuquerque, and in my front yard and in my backyard is sand. Sorry.
Well, I got sand here in Florida.
There you go. We
Full
all
sand.
live in the sand. I
I'm
live in
not,
sand.
no, that's not what I mean.
Right.
Some places had it, how come Africa isn't built up where they're, remember what Kevin used to tell us? They do load shedding.
Yeah,
You,
exactly.
you, you know what you know how to explain it?
Yeah, they turn off certain parts of the city so that other parts of the city can use the electricity because they can't, for some reason, they're not producing enough electricity
For
to
everybody
take
to
care
live
of the whole place
So in the summer,
at one time.
for 8 hours to 3 days. That's what he said. It
Right.
was anything 8, 10 hours, 12 hours to three
Hmm.
days. It could go up to.
Hmm.
They wouldn't have any air. Can
Heat,
you imagine not
air, no
having
heat.
AC in Africa?
Their refrigerators didn't work. Nothing worked.
Do you think this happens to hotels or
Hmm.
Oprah's classrooms that she gave
Hmm.
those kids? You think it
Yeah,
happens there?
and then they want to change to electric cars. You know, because
Let me
yeah,
ask you
that's
something. Yeah, go on.
mm,
Go on.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go
Ask me
about the
something.
electric cars. What?
Because I wanted to change the subject on you because this came from Breitbart. President Trump, as his administration has halted the $5 billion electric vehicle charging station program that Biden had initially started. And the biggest reason is because they 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 spent they spent like $7.5 billion, right? And only 7 or 8 stations were built, charging stations.
So money laundering.
Money laundering.
Like everything else. Everything we're going to find out is money laundering. It's not even money laundering. It's because it's just going back into their
Yeah,
pockets. It
they were
comes out of
supposed to
their
make
pockets. It goes back.
500. They were supposed to make 500,000 of these charging stations by 2030, and they only
Right.
got 7 or 8. And that's how much money they've spent already.
There you go, guys.
Money laundering, just like everybody's been talking about when that they burned down Pacific Palisades and then they got rid of all that all those people over there in North Carolina to make these new cities, these new supposed new cities. Money laundering. It's all money laundering because they're going to put billions and
No,
billions
no,
and
no,
billions of
no, no, no,
dollars to
no, no,
rebuild those
no,
things
no,
and
no.
take
They
half of the
cannot get
money.
rid of the Palisades. First of all, you don't confuse it. The one in North Carolina was all the lithium. That
Right,
was the lithium. The one
right.
in California
Is the
was
city.
the bad guys. All the
Granted.
bad guys except for
Granted.
beautiful James Woods.
Well, they were trying to build that rail up there. You know, they spent billions of dollars and they only got what, 23 miles up built
Right,
already?
because Trump stopped it.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
It's
I want to
exactly that.
explain something too. Remember, we kind of talked about this earlier, Joe. Um,
Hmm.
in New York City, this is in New York City, right? The fire marshal would come around to apartment buildings. This is the way
Yeah,
they
we
made
did.
sure made sure there was a back entrance, a front entrance. You could go in the
Mm.
courtyard, everything was clear, there was a path. that the fire escapes were good,
They
the
worked.
the water systems were working fine, whatever. I don't know why this dawned on me today. I mean, things dawn on me, but this is a little different, right? So we had a six-family apartment building, and I remember the marshals coming and looking and testing our fire escape. Okay. It always had to work. You, it's eyesore almost to these beautiful buildings, some of them, but you had to have one in wherever, whatever floor, uh, the any floor had to have one. Every floor had to have one huge fire escape. Um, any building, right? So he tested the ladder. It's not the safest thing to do, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen cops and robber movies and all this shit. You see them running through the fire escapes. The ladder goes down, they go down. I'm sure you all seen it if you're not from a city.
Yes.
They care so much about these fire escapes that I remember them telling Dad, I was a kid, but it needs to be painted. We had to paint it. It was probably 8, 9, 10 years old. I don't know. Hadn't been painted. It was green. I don't know why, but it's metallic paint. So they didn't have many colors is what I mean. It's usually primary colors. Yeah. Um, that's how important these fire escapes were, right? Tell me. And my building was made in the 1930s, I'd say, 1930s. Okay. When the fire escapes went up, had to have been before my father bought the building in 1966, or at least around the same time. I don't remember him ever telling me he had to pay for them. So I'm not sure. But my point is the World Trade Center was built in 19, it was completed in 76, 77. Why didn't it have ladders going down to the bottom floors? What? In fact, like we weren't born yesterday. If I worked that high up, God forbid, and I did, but I was kind of young. I was like 19 when I worked in the Empire State Building. And you get to that I would get to the 61st floor in like a matter of like 8 seconds. It's
Mm.
like zoom, you're up there, right? Your ears pop and everything. Um, but if you do work on a height, why not parachutes? I would have, even if I didn't go and take a lesson about how to use parachutes, what, why not have them? Miniature parachutes to save you. You know, maybe you break two legs instead of dying. Why didn't these great architects think of shit like this? Why was it that my father had to paint a safety ladder for fires, but the World Trade Center didn't have like ladders built into the sides? So if people had to break the windows or something, they could get down. I would have rather taken my chances if I were up there. I'm positive people would have done that instead of dying and falling to their death because there were flames in back of them. They didn't want to burn to death. Where were these precautions? And the same thing with the Titanic, right? Because you know who they killed on the Titanic? The people, the rich against the NWO. Three
Mhm.
major contributors. That was Guggenheim. It was Guggenheim, Astor, the scientist. I think he was a chemist or so. Astor, and Macy's. I think it was Mr. Macy's or Gimbel. One of them. Some really, yeah. They were happened to be on. They were all against the NWO. Funny enough, we don't hear about NWO people dying on there. You know, why the fuck wouldn't you put all the safety boats you need? That whole thing was fake, my friends. That's how long they've been faking this shit. Don't they knew exactly what was going to happen to the World Trade Center 25 years later. They knew exactly because they didn't
They
make
did,
any safety precautions.
and they planned it.
I have a fort. I had a fort a mile. I've said this before, a fort a mile away from me. They could have been in New York City. It was an Air Force. They could have, yeah, they could have been in New York City in no time. No time. 30 seconds. Well, maybe a minute and a half. I don't know. It's right over the East Water or East River. Are you kidding? 30 seconds. Seriously. My specifically where I was had a clear boom, could have been right there. And I'm bad with geography, but I've seen it. I've seen them practice. I mean, we've had those fucking helicopters from the reporters come over to our areas all the time, and it only takes them a handful of minutes. 10 minutes, not even. I just I just ask why. You know, what if you have 8 people going on a ship, why take 7 life vests? People weren't stupid. But no, if you're not told this stuff, if you're not told that, well, these people are paying to have fire escapes, but the World Trade Center doesn't have to. Well, because it's the World Trade Center and a lot of people work in there and they're rich. You see where I'm coming from, my friends? Now, I know a lot of the fire shit started in the 80s, but then there
Did
might be
it?
a reason why it happened afterwards. But I'm pretty sure that fire escape was older. I'm pretty sure our fire escape was there in probably the 60s,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
sure
say.
it was.
So
Sure it
I gotta,
was.
I'll look up the laws, but still, why make a building like that and not have any precautions? Really? And I don't know if you guys actually looked at pictures, but what about the helicopter? There was a couple of helicopters flying there. I don't mean um reporters, journalists. There were helicopters flying around there. Why the fuck didn't they throw down? You're telling me they didn't have anything to throw down to some of those people that were out the window? I would have taken a chance, held on to anything for dear life. What the fuck were those people thinking in those helicopters? I'm not sure if there were one or two, but there was definitely one. And you're telling me there was nobody in the back of somebody was just flying a helicopter right by there by themselves? Even if I was a fucking reporter, look for a damn rope. What are you kidding? They got right close. I'm not saying they were 100 feet away. They got right up there. No, I don't know why I brought 9/11 up, but well, I was watching pictures. I was watching pictures, and I always thought that. I always said that even as I was like, why aren't there parachutes up there? Why didn't they use why don't they have parachutes on airplanes? If you know you're going down, why don't they have instead of fucking air things dropping, how about fucking miniature parachutes? Maybe then I could use my float what are the seats are like float devices. Maybe I have a chance to use it in the water if I survive the fucking fall. Give me a break. Things don't add up. I don't know. Does it cost that much more money? I don't give a flying fuck. Safety first. Do you don't
Right.
you,
Safety
you think
first.
Trump is flying on Air Force One without half the shit I just mentioned? Like, I mean, I guarantee there's parachutes on there. Did Harrison Ford have one in the movie? What was that movie he did? Oh, come on, people know where he played the president. Joe, why are you so like? I'm bad with movies.
I'm worse.
No, you're not. You guys know which one I'm talking about. What are you doing, Joe? Oh.
Looking at the movie. Air Force One.
Was
When
it
he was
called
in
Air Force One?
Air Force One. Hmm.
All right, is
That was in
anybody?
1997.
No, but you just look a little estranged right now. Let me see. All right, I think we'll end it for now. I'm sorry, Susan. My 7 charging stations. That's what, yeah.
Yeah, 78. Yeah,
My
that's all he
front
made.
yard and backyard are dirt. Indoctrination. Yes, giants in the day. Yeah, there were
Yeah,
definitely giants. We
yeah,
did
we
not
had all
create
those.
half this shit. No, no. Anybody understand a little bit of architecture? Um, Michelangelo did not do one of his sculptures in 1 day, 8 months, or 5 years. Do you understand? Okay. It takes
Entire.
sometimes a lifetime to do some of these things. There's no way that it was done in 7, 8 years, some of these constructions that they want us to believe,
Right.
including the Suez Canal. I'm with the technology that we had, how the fuck did they do that in the amount of time? No, I ain't buying it. All right, guys, let's call it a night. We love you, and we shall see you very
Thanks,
soon.
guys, for listening. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
Always,
Susan,
always.
thanks for stopping and see. Susan's not afraid to write about conspiracies. I love it.
No, 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 she's not.
It's cool shit. Cool beans. Night night.
Love y'all, guys. Peace out, man.